Hello crochet crew. Today we're going to make this adorable little ghost. It is Halloween season after all. So let's get started. We're going to need some white yarn, a 4mm crochet hook. This is a double knit acrylic yarn, a 4mm crochet hook. We've got a stitch marker, tapestry needle, scissors, and some safety eyes. That is everything we need for this beautiful little guy. Let's get started. Okay, so to start this handsome little devil, or little ghost, if you will, we need to start with a magic ring. So magic ring is, I know it's intimidating, but it really is quite simple. So I wrap the yarn around my fingers, like so, with the working end of the yarn going to the back of the loop. Okay, and then between my fingers, I take my hook, grab that working end, pull it through, grab it again, and pull it through, like so. Okay, I'm then going to make one chain. Okay, and then to start this off, we're going to need 6 single crochets into our magic ring. So we'll put the hook through the loop, grab the yarn, pull through, grab the yarn, pull through the 2 loops on your hook, and that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, we now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stitches in our loop. So we're going to take the tail end of our yarn and just pull that tight. Okay, so the tighter you pull it, the tighter that little hole will be in the top there. Okay, so we're now going to work straight into this first stitch here, and we're going to increase on every stitch. So that will be 2 single crochets into each stitch of our first round. Okay, so 1 and 2, that's 1 increase, and then 3 and 4, that's another increase, 5 and 6, that's your 3rd increase, 7 and 8, that is your 4th increase, 9 and 10, that is your 5th increase, and then into your final stitch, 11 and 12. So there you have it, you have 12 stitches going around. So we're going to do another increase row. This time we're going to increase on every second crochet, every second stitch. I don't know why I keep saying crochet instead of stitch. And then we're going to end up with 18 stitches at the end of the round. So the way I count is I will count up until 18, so including the increases. So in the first stitch, we're going to do 1 single crochet. And in the second stitch, we're going to do 2 single crochets. So 2 and 3. And then in the next stitch is going to be 1 single crochet, so that's 4. And in the next stitch, we're going to do 2 single crochets, and that is 5 and 6. Okay, next stitch is going to be 1 single crochet, that's 7. And the next stitch is 2 single crochets as an increase, that's 8 and 9. And we're going to carry on for the remaining 6 stitches to end up with 18 stitches at the end of the row. So 10 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and an increase in the last stitch to be 17 and 18. There we go. So we've now got 18 stitches going around. Okay, so we're going to do another increase round now, but we're going to increase in every third stitch. So we'll do a single crochet in the first stitch, single crochet in the second stitch, and then 2 single crochets in the third stitch. And you'll continue to work that pattern all the way around. I'm going to do that, and I will come back to you when I have 24 stitches. So I've finished my row, and I now have 24 stitches going round. We're now going to do one last row of increases. So instead of, well, this time we're going to increase on the 4th stitch. So we'll do single crochet, single crochet, single crochet, and then 2 single crochets. And we're going to work that all the way around until we have 30 stitches left on our hook. This is the last round of increases, so we'll do it together. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9, and 10. 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. That's halfway through. 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25, and last increase 26, 27, 28, and the final increase goes 29 and 30. And there we go, that is the final row of increases. We're now going to work straight rows. Well, I don't work straight rows, I guess I work them around in a spiral. So this is why I have a stitch marker. So you'll put your stitch marker, oh, lost it. You put your stitch marker on your final stitch of the row, and that is how you will always be able to keep count and know how many rows, well, know when you finish the row. Okay, so I'm going to start by working 5 rows straight. So we'll do one together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and on your final stitch you'll remove the stitch marker, 30, and then place the stitch marker back on the final stitch of your row. Okay, so I'm going to work another 4 rows just straight down, and I will be back once that is done. Okay, so here we are. We've completed 5 rows of single crochets. I've got my stitch marker at the end there, and this is what our little ghost looks like so far. So what we're going to do is we're going to measure for his eyes now to see if we want to put them higher or lower. Let's just have a look. So I like to put them 2 or 3 stitches apart. I think 2 stitches apart would be good for this little guy. And I think that that is the perfect spot for them. So that is between rows 3 and 4. And I have put them 2 stitches apart, as you can see. If I bring that a little bit closer, you can see 1, 2 stitches apart. So that is where I'm going to be putting my eyes for this little ghost. And I'm going to attach the backs for them. Got to hear it click. There we go. And for this one too. There we go. And we have some eyes attached. Okay, I'm going to snip the end that we started with, the tail end. It's a bit long for me. Just snip it off, and he's going to be buried in the center of our little ghost when we stuff him. So that's where we're at the moment. I'm going to do, I think, 7 more rows of single crochets, maybe 6. I think I'll do 6. And then come back and see where we are. If we need that 7th row, we can always add it in at the time. So I'm going to do 6 more rows, just plain single crochet, all straight, all the way down, and then I'll be back. So I just wanted to stop and show you, this is 3 rows in, and this is how our little ghost is looking at the moment. So another 3 rows, and we'll be ready to start decreasing. So this is what our little ghost looks like after 6 rows of plain single crochets. So now what we're going to do is we are going to work on his skirt. It's a cute little detail, and it's easy to add it on now rather than add it on at the end. So we are going to work through that process together. Okie dokie, so I'm going to take this stitch marker out. There we go. Right, so the important thing to remember when working this round is that we are working in the front part of the stitch only, the front loop only, so that there. As you can see, you've still got that back loop on there. So when we crochet into this front loop only. Okay? And then let's start the pattern. So it's going to be a single crochet, and then into the front loop only we're going to do a half double crochet, and then into the front loop only we're going to do 2 double crochets, and then a half double crochet, and then we're going to start again. So we'll do a single crochet. Please excuse my cat in the background. A half double crochet, a double crochet, oh, and then another double crochet, get some more yarn, and then a half double crochet. Okay, so single crochet, front loop only, half double crochet. I haven't shown you how to do these stitches. A double crochet, bear with me, another double crochet, and a half double crochet. So, as you'll know from the rest of the ghost that we've just worked on, single crochet is putting your hook through the stitch, front loop only in this case, grabbing the yarn, pull it through, and grab the yarn and pull it through 2 loops. A half double crochet, you wrap your hook first, put it through the stitch, in this case front loop only, grab your yarn, pull it through, and then you grab your yarn and pull through all 3. And then a double crochet, you wrap your hook first into the stitch, in this case front loop only, you grab your yarn, pull it through, and then you grab your yarn, pull through 2 of the loops on your hook, you grab your yarn again and pull through the last 2 loops on your hook. So double crochet again, you wrap your yarn, put it through the stitch, in this case front loop only, grab your yarn, pull it through, grab your yarn, pull through 2 loops, grab your yarn, pull through 2 loops, and then a half double crochet again, you wrap your hook, put it through the stitch, again in this case front loop only, this one's a bit fiddly, you grab your yarn, pull it through, grab your yarn again, pull through all 3 loops. Okay, so that is how we do these stitches. So we're going to carry on with that little pattern right around our little ghost. Oops, let's try this one again. So this is our final pattern repeat. So a single crochet, half double crochet, double crochet, double crochet, and then half double crochet. And we are going to join it by doing a slip stitch into that first single crochet. Okay, and now how we carry on is that we're going to fold the skirt back, and we're now going to work a round of single crochets into those back loops. Okay, so into the back loop I do single crochets, and we're going to do that all the way around. I've missed a stitch. Pulling it too tight. There's the back loop. there, and we're going to single crochet all the way around. And there's the back loop there. There. That's a little bit fiddly. There we go. So once you've got them going, you'll be able to pick them up quite easily. The first one or two might be a bit fiddly, but you'll be able to find them. Bear with me just a second, I need to grab a light. There we go, now you can see a little bit better. Shows a really bad time to start filming when the sun starts going down. And there's my cat again, please excuse me. Or excuse him. He's a bit of a mummy's boy and likes to get my attention at all times. And that should be the final stitch. And I'm just going to count my stitches now to make sure that I've got 30 stitches. Just pull that out a little bit. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So I've got one too many here. So I'm going to remove that stitch and I'm going to slip stitch into the first stitch we did. Okay, so now we have 30 stitches. So we're going to start decreasing now, but before we start decreasing, we need a little bit of stuffing. Okay, so here's my stuffing. I've got far too much of it, as usual, but I like to pull it off in little pieces and stuff little bits at a time. That way you have a bit more control over the stuffing. Pull that out a little bit. Oops. Okay, a little bit more. And a little bit more. Okay, we will be giving him a bit more stuffing once we've done a few rows of the decreases. But for now he's feeling pretty good. Okay, so let's start the first round of our decreases. Okay, so we are going to crochet 3 stitches and then crochet 2 together. So by the end of the round we'll have 24 stitches, and I'm going to count them down as we go. Okay, so we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and crochet 2 together. So you go in, grab your yarn, pull it through, go straight into your next stitch, grab your yarn, pull it through, and then you grab your yarn and pull through all 3 loops on your hooks. So that takes us to 4 stitches. Okay, and we're going to repeat that 6 times. So 5, 6, 7, and then a decrease. So we go into the first stitch, grab the yarn, pull it through, into the second stitch, grab your yarn, pull it through, and then grab your yarn, pull it through all 3 stitches. Okay, so that makes 8, 9, 10, 11, and we're going to decrease again. So that is 12, 13, 14, 15, and another decrease. And that is 16, 17, 18, 19, another decrease, and then that's 20, 21, 22, 23, and finally another decrease. .24. Okay, so 24 stitches around the bottom. Okay, so we're now going to decrease again. This time it'll be 2 stitches and then a decrease. Okay, so if you want to work that, so 2 stitches and then a decrease, work that all the way around. So you'll repeat that 6 times going around. You should have 18 stitches by the end of it. If we do that separately, and I will be back once that's done. So we are now at 18 stitches. We're going to do another decrease round. This time it is 1 single crochet, 1 decrease, and you should have 12 stitches by the end of it. I'm going to do that and then I'll come back. Oh, before I forget, this is the last time you'll be able to add any stuffing to your ghost. I think he is stuffed perfectly. He or she, ghosts are, I don't know if they have genders. Anyway, I think they're stuffed perfectly. So I'm not going to put any more stuffing in, but this would be the perfect time because your finger can still fit in there. When we get down to 12 stitches, it gets a bit more difficult. So if you want to add stuffing, add it now before you do the next decrease. As I said, the next decrease is 1 single crochet, 1 decrease, and we do that 6 times around to have 12 stitches by the end. So I'm going to get that done and I'll be back in a second. Okay, so we've now got 12 stitches going round, and This is the last decrease round we'll be doing. We're just going to be doing 6 decreases all the way around, and we're going to do those together. So in through one stitch, grab your yarn, pull it through, in through the next stitch, grab your yarn, pull it through, and grab your yarn and pull it through all 3 loops. Okay, and we will do that 5 more times. 2, 3, 4, 5, and last one, 6. So now I have 6 stitches going round. Okay, we're now going to snip our yarn. Don't need too long a tail, about that long. We're going to pull the yarn through that last stitch and thread this through our needle. Okay, and here we're just going to go through every second stitch to stitch this closed. Okay, and that is it. When you're done, you're going to pull the yarn through an edge somewhere, and we're going to sew the tail away through some stitches. Just like so, and then snip it off. And that is your little ghost. You fold his skirt back down, and there he is. And if you've done this right, he looks like he's floating. Hold on, I will move the camera so you can see this better. There he is. No, I'm not sponsored by Pepsi, but I should be. But isn't that little guy beautiful? And he can join his bigger little friend. No, he's not doing too well. But there we go. 2 little ghosts. Thank you for joining me. If you do make a little ghost, please tag me, show me your little ghosts. If you've enjoyed this tutorial, press all the buttons, like, follow, subscribe, share, tell everyone about it. I would love to see you here for the next tutorial. Happy crocheting!